Good evening, everybody. This is Caesar with Inspire Movement. I hope that you're having a wonderful start to your work week and that you had an amazing Thanksgiving holiday with your family and with your friends. So today we're looking at, for our word of the day, healing, the word healing. So healing by definition is the making or becoming sound or healthy again, essentially. There's many different things that we could be healing from, right? So we could be healing from or trying to recover from some form of illness, whether that be mental or physical. We could be trying to heal from some past traumas, maybe from some grave loss, whether it be the death of a loved one or the loss of a relationship, such as experiencing some form of divorce. We could be healing from a whole host of things. We're going to first consider stages of healing for illnesses, things like mental or physical illness. So the first step is really acceptance, and that really applies for all manner of healing. The most limiting barrier towards healing is not accepting, being in denial of whatever it is that you're going through, in this case, mental or physical illness, getting that diagnosis and really refusing to deal with it or cope with it or wanting to cope with it, which is perfectly understandable. But opening the doorway towards acceptance is definitely the first stage of the healing process. After that, garnering some form of insight. So becoming keenly aware and monitoring all of the details associated to your illness to the point where you can now start or plan to take action for all of the different symptoms and signs that you may be now familiar with, and taking actionable steps to enhance your recovery. With that comes now enhancing your self-efficacy, improving your self-esteem, improving your competency, feeling better about yourself because you're now accepting, you're garnering all this insight and knowledge, and now you're taking actionable steps to recovery, and you're feeling better about yourself. That would be the fourth stage. With that comes, healing. You've now opened the gateway to recovery by accepting the condition that you're dealing with, and you're beginning to heal. And what we mean by healing in its true nature is essentially finding a true sense of meaning and purpose, finding a new sense of self, and improving on your quality of life. That's really what we're aiming to say when we say healing, right? Despite all the struggles that you're going through right now with the illnesses that you've been exposed to or diagnosed with, you've taken all of these steps to arrive at a position where you have this new sense of self, this renewed sort of approach to life, that you're going to make it through this. And lastly, finding some form of meaning behind it all, which only as you're going through this process you'll be able to unearth what that meaning actually is. So that's kind of a process towards healing when you're talking about some form of mental or physical illness. But what if we're dealing with trying to heal from some past traumas? Like, how do we even begin to navigate those rough waters? For one, some positive dogma, maybe having some positive sayings or thoughts that we can use to counter our negative thoughts. Sort of as a buffer to that negativity that we can kind of find ourselves in because we've been dealt in the wrong in the past and we may be holding some sort of resentment within us. That's certainly a pathway to recovery and towards healing. Finding a support group that is maybe has dealt with some of the similar issues that you've dealt with in the past. That's also very, very healing in and of itself. Engaging in practices of self-care can be very healing. Giving yourself the permission to even talk about the things that you've been through, giving yourself the permission to forgive the people that have wronged you in whichever way they have wronged you. I think that's yet another pathway towards healing. Letting the negative emotions that are within you flow, allowing yourself to cry, allowing yourself to weep, to feel weakened, to have waning faith, all of these things. That's also a way to deal and cope with all of the things that you're going through. And when necessary, seeking professional help to get you there, right? That's also another pathway to healing. What if you're dealing with some form of loss? You're grieving. You've lost a loved one, you've lost your marriage, you've lost any manner of things, even something as your vocation, for example. That's certainly a manner of loss that we have to process. Step number one is to give yourself the permission to process the pain. Honor your pain. It's important to allow yourself to honor your pain and the things that you're going through. That would be step number one. And then reach out to folks, again, that could be experiencing similar losses to what you've experienced. Maybe a support group, a 12-step process. Engage in things like practicing and engage in prayer. Practice things like mindfulness and meditations, maybe even philosophy. Anything that will help ease your peace of mind is what you should be doing as you're trying to find a pathway towards healing. So me, in reflecting with this word healing, obviously I've encountered a lot of manner of pain and suffering myself in life, probably in the mix of all of the things that I've mentioned previously. And I definitely agree that the first step is to accept what you're going through, and it's so incredibly difficult. And no, we don't have to be strong. No, we don't have to know the answers. It's okay to have weakened faith, to question things. Why is this happening to me? Am I alone? So many things that we could have to process as we're going through these things. But it's important to note that if we surround ourselves with the right people, if we allow ourselves to grieve, if we allow ourselves to experience our pain and suffering, there is a pathway to healing for us, and you can get there. No matter what you're going through. Pray for some form of resolve. Pray for some form of understanding, some wisdom that you're lacking. I know I certainly do. I question all the time. And that's perfectly normal, because God doesn't expect us to be perfect in any way. He just expects us to seek Him when we need Him. So if you're spiritual in nature, it's okay. I think God is okay with us questioning when things are going wrong. I think that's perfectly healthy and perfectly human, because we're so limited in our understanding of life. So acceptance is definitely the gateway to recovery. These are at least some of my reflections on the word healing. I hope some of these things are useful to you in some way. Please reach out to us if there's another word that you want us to explore, or maybe some other subject matter that you want us to explore. I hope that you have a wonderful remainder of the week. And if you are experiencing some form of pain and suffering right now, I pray for you so that you can find a way forward. And please know that you're not alone. I know that if not within your immediate circle, there are people that love you and could impart their wisdom and their hand of help and love and compassion towards your recovery. Thank you so much, and again, I hope you have a blessed week.